Tori here with another December daily video. Yes, I know it's February, and yes, I'm still working on my December dailies, and actually I'm working on last year's and this year's, but you know, you do you, I'll do me. I don't know, that's silly. Okay, anyways, I am working on my 2019 and 2018 album. First, I'm going to work on my 2019 album here with you guys, so the next page in my junk journal was kind of like a pocket page. So I decided to make some like tags to go into those pockets. And I'm going to make 5. I used some 6x6 paper pads that I had in my stash to cut some paper down. And I wanted them to be of differing heights. Like I didn't want them all to just be 6x6. So I'm going to end up cutting extra pieces to put on the top of each one to make them slightly longer than 6x6. I think the smallest one is probably like 6.5, and then it goes up by quarters from there. And that's kind of what you're seeing me do, is picking those extra pieces that I had cut off of the sides to add to the top of each of these. And I kind of wanted it to go with a like pink, black, and gray kind of feel. So I just picked out papers that were pink, blacks, and grays. And they're not necessarily Christmas papers at all. They are different Maggie Holmes papers that I just kind of picked out. I picked out one with swans. I picked out a pink one that had like almost like that one there that looks kind of like tassels. One that says "This makes me smile." Just a pink plain patterned one, and then like a one that's kind of like a off-white, and it kind of looks like that stone that you put on your kitchen island, marble. And then I kind of just added some additional pieces for the tops. So I'm going to layer each of those up with the bigger 6x6 piece and then the extra piece to add that extra height at the top. And then what I did was I also cut like a 1/4-inch piece to put across the seam. I just felt like it maybe made it look a little more finished. And then what I'll do with each of these papers that I'm creating is I'll do some journaling and add some photos and embellishments to those. And then those will go in my pockets for day 17. For those of you wondering who will probably leave a comment, yes, I am wearing like a wrist brace. Lately, I've been like really struggling with like pain in my wrist. I think it's probably carpal tunnel. So I've been trying to wear the wrist brace like more often just to keep it stabilized. So I'm sorry if that bothers you or whatever, but I don't want to get no carpal tunnel. So, yeah, that's kind of why I'm wearing that. And now what I'm doing is just cutting those like 1/4-inch strips, which will go across the seam. You could also add washi tape. I've done that before. I just feel like putting something across the seam where the two papers meet just makes it look more finished. Some of the pieces I cut a little thicker than others, but most of them are about a 1/4 inch. Like, honestly, I did not adhere them all down straight at all. And I probably could have taken a little bit more time to make sure they were all straight, but like, I like the handmade effect, and like, I'm just not letting it worry me. So while I work on this, why don't I read you my journaling? So tomorrow is the annual gingerbread house contest at RVA for the staff still on campus. Oh, how I love decorating gingerbread houses every Christmas season. I didn't think I would this year, but I'm so glad I decided to join the contest. Of course, I had to be a little or a lot extra and make 3 houses from scratch. I had to triple the recipe and use my silhouette to cut out the house templates from paper. And I even added windows. And then I also include the recipe for the gingerbread houses because they worked really well. It's from Sally's Baking Addiction, so if you want to Google her, you can find her. She makes really good gingerbread houses, so I used her recipe. And then it just says, it was quite the hassle to put the roofs together. They kept wanting to slide down, and I ended up putting so much icing on there. Some of it ended up getting soggy, especially the cookies, and one piece even cracked. I ended up clearing out half the fridge so I could stick it in there overnight. I left it midnight, praying it would hold together while I slept so I could decorate it in the morning. Praying and hoping. And then I also included the recipe for the crusted buttercream, which I used to like adhere it together. So what I decided to start with before I did my journaling though was to add some embellishments. So on the front piece, I added a Santa Claus, which you saw, and the word magical. And then on the This Makes Me Happy, I added a die cut from Feed Your Crafts, which was like a little ornament. And then on some of the other ones, which unfortunately I'm covering up right now, I added a couple photos of me putting together the gingerbread. One with the windows and the stained glass that I had put in the windows, and then one where it was sitting in my fridge, like praying that it wouldn't fall apart. I wanted each of the roofs to be different, so one of them I ended up using cookies instead of gingerbread, which worked well, except for it kept sliding down, so then I added more icing, and then it got soggy, and yeah, that's what you heard in the journaling. And then on this one, I added half of a wreath and the number 17, because this is the 17th day of December. And then I also added some of those puffy December daily stickers, bursts. I don't know, they were in the same colors as the wreath, and I thought they would look good. And then you can see I'm just adding some bows and things like that to the photos and stuff. And then on one photo, I used that pink alphabet to write the word wow. And then on the other photo, I added the word yikes, because that was the photo of it in the fridge where I was praying that it would not fall apart while I slept. I made the house on one day, and then I decorated it the next day, which it was a lot of work because it was 3 houses. Yeah, it was a lot. So tomorrow I'll show you, or in tomorrow's video when I work on the 18th, I'll show you the finished house. But today I was just journaling about putting the houses together and making them. And I have done this before where I've added recipes to my December daily. And I just think it's such a fun addition to add recipes to your December daily. So I'm so glad that I added the recipe for the gingerbread and for the buttercream, because next year if I want to make a gingerbread house again from scratch, then I can go find this recipe in my December daily. Or in the future, if somebody's like looking in it, they'll find the recipe. I don't know. That just makes me so happy. It just makes me happy. So, like I said, I have made gingerbread houses almost every year. I just love decorating them. But usually I just buy a box from the store and just put it together. But being in Kenya this year, I wasn't able to just buy a box set. They don't have those, or if they do, I don't know where I would find one. So I ended up having to make the whole thing from scratch, but it actually wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. It was really fun, and I would totally do that again. I think this year I stuck with maybe, I want to say more simple, except for it was 3 houses, more simple design, as in just like a regular house shape. But I think next year it would be really fun to make like a castle, or I don't know, something else, like something really creative. I don't know. And like I said, I found the shapes that I wanted for the houses, and I cut them out with my silhouette on paper, and then I used that paper to create templates for my houses, which worked so well. It was so fun to do that. So that's pretty much it for day 17 on those tags. I did add some other additional Feed Your Crafts die cuts to these pages. The Feed Your Crafts die cuts were doodles by Brandy Kincaid, I believe. I just really like the way that they looked, and I'm happy I used them. So that's it for my 2019 album. Next I'm going to work on my 2018 album. And I have a photo collage of my sister for today's page. And I wanted to scrapbook about this. I actually, for this page, used a prompt from Load or Layout a Day, which is this awesome challenge that's happening over at scraphappy.org. And it's where you like make a layout a day. And the theme this year is Harry Potter. So each of the prompts has to do with Harry Potter. And I believe the prompt that I used to help me with today's page was one about like the best day ever. And it was talking about Harry Potter's birthday. And how Hagrid showed up and gave him like a squished cake that he sat on and everything, but like how it was the best day ever for Harry. And funny enough, I had these photos of my sister where I wanted to document something about her birthday, and I wanted to use that title, Best Day Ever, which even though I kind of hate that title, I feel like it worked for this page. So I wanted to add a little bit of extra color. I knew that I wanted the photo of my sister, or the photo collage of my sister, to be on the right side, but on the left side, I just had that like Aztec-y looking pattern from crepe paper, I think Snow and Cocoa collection, and that wood grain, but then on the other side is where I wanted to add the photo, but I felt like it was too white. It's even throwing off my camera balance. So I ended up grabbing another piece of paper from the same collection, that blue snowflake pattern, cutting it down to about 3.5 by 6, and then I'm going to adhere that on that side. So it's bringing that blue from the left-hand side into the right-hand side too, so that I can put my sister there. And then I wanted to do the journaling on the left-hand side, but I knew that I had a lot to say and it wasn't all going to fit on that wood grain piece. So what I decided to do was go through my Project Life cards and pick out a few Project Life cards that I could kind of make like a little booklet of for my journaling. And then what I'm going to do is write my journaling on those cards, and then I can do the journaling. I thought originally I might layer it up with the photos and add multiple Project Life cards, but then I was like, no, you know what I need to do is make this little booklet so that I can add all the journaling. So while I'm picking out those cards, why don't I tell you what my journaling says? It says, I love seeing the joy of others when they open a gift I so meticulously picked out for them. How nice it was to send Courtney a gift from Canada to France for her birthday. It arrived over a month late, but that didn't dampen her joy. Her response, so she posted this on Facebook. My sissy sent me the sweetest package. You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think, which is a quote by Christopher Robin. For once, a package delayed came right on time. This beautiful card came in the mail today, literally minutes after I finished my hardest exam. I'm such an intentional words person, and so naturally I'm overwhelmingly thankful for a sister/family who know me and believe in me. Thanks, Tori, for the tea, advent calendar, bag, and thoughtful card. I'm just happy she's happy, and I'm also weirdly happy for delayed mail, which was delivered perfectly on time. God's time, best day ever. So that's kind of what the journaling says. Basically, if you've been around for a while, you kind of know this. I live in Kenya. My sister lives in Chad. But last year, yeah, we're an international family. Last year, I was in Canada and my sister was in France learning French in order to move to Chad, where you need to speak French. And so I had sent her a gift. I had sent her a David's Tea Advent calendar, which I love, and I've used those for the last 3 years. And this is the first year I didn't get one because I was in Kenya and they don't ship outside of Canada, which is really sad. So last year what I did was I ordered two, one for me and one for her, and as soon as I got it, I mailed it to her. So it got there like December 17th, but like honestly, she didn't care, and it arrived perfectly on time after she had like this really stressful exam. So it was one of those times where like it was delayed, but like it was delayed in the mail, but it got there perfectly on time, if that makes any sense. So while I was looking through my Project Life cards, I also found a journaling card that had this phrase at the top that said feeling blessed, which I really liked. So I decided to cut that piece off and add it to the top of that wood grain, kind of like a tab almost. And then every day I try to use these puffy number stickers, but I always forget if I use them in my 2018 or 2019 album, so I usually have to flip back a couple pages to make sure that I actually use it in this album. So I grabbed that and I stuck that down. And now I'm going to work on doing my journaling on those journaling cards. I did go to my sister's Facebook page to find her exact words for when she had posted it, but I kind of love that I did that. Allie Edwards often talks about like including other people's voices in your scrapbook. So writing down what she had said on her post and including that, I just feel like it makes this page extra special. One of the journaling cards I wanted to use, that pink one with the lines and the hearts on it that I've already written on, had rounded edges. The other two cards that I wanted to use had square edges. And because I'm a genius, not, I decided not to bring my corner rounder with me to Kenya. And so, unfortunately, I had to use the one card for the other card to round the edges, but that's okay. I finished this page off with some embellishments and a title, but unfortunately my camera cut off. So I do have a photo for you guys here at the end so you can see what the finished page looks like. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching, and check back soon for another video, probably tomorrow, because I am like on an editing fire speed. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but I'm editing a lot of videos. So I should have another video for you tomorrow. See you then. Bye.